So, I was speaking to a friend the other day, and we talked about how the past, present, and future is the same thing. Now, he had trouble understanding that while I was explaining it, and I wanted to share this with you in case you have the same mindset or wondering how that actually works. How does the past, the present, and the future all are the same thing? Energetically speaking, we're not talking about previous dates or future dates. I'm talking about how the energy can be read right now, whether it is in the past or in the future. It is because the past and the future are the same energy of your present, meaning the same way that your present self is the projection of your past occurrences, the same way it writes your future. Does that make sense? If you're having trouble grasping that thought, just think about it that way. Your present self almost makes your future predictable based on the energy that you carry right now in the present moment. That is why your future is predictable. If you change any energy in the present moment, it changes your predictability in the future. So, when people say focus on the moment, is because the moment is actually what makes your future. For me to tap into your energy, I basically see what your energy is forming into the future. And that is how I tap into your future. The energy is timeless. It has no time. And so the concept of time, the past and the future, is dependent on the present energy. You change the present, you change the future. There is a theory that if you change the present, you can also change the past. But that is almost, in theory, because the past can actually change in your mind or change how you see it, perceive it, feel about it. But once a circumstance happens in your past, it is the same. It's not changeable unless you change your perspective about it. So you can change how you feel and how you see a past situation, but the occurrence or the happening of the past situation or the past experience is still the same. That's why when you are recalling past memories, you can recall it differently at different ages or after going through a period of self-awareness or realizations, because your perception of it changes. So that's how you can change the past, by understanding it or looking at it differently. But I'm not talking about how you can change the past, because the past is in the past. More importantly, the future here. The future is dependent on the present energy you are in. You can change your future by changing your present moment. And when I say present moment, I mean your present energy. The way I see it is, imagine a field of possibilities. That field of possibilities is dependent on how you operate your energy currently, which results in almost creating this future event for you because of your present energy. You see what I mean? So the future can be read, the future can be tapped into by people like me, is because your current energy is creating it. And once you understand that, you understand the concept of time, that there is no time, because what you are now is exactly what makes your future. And it's really that simple, but maybe hard to wrap your brain around it, because your brain is always like, well, the future is unknown. It is not unknown. if you know yourself right now. If you don't know yourself and you don't know what you're doing in your life, and you don't know what consequence your decisions and actions have day to day in your present moment, then you don't know what the future holds for you. But if you know yourself very well in the present moment, you foresee your future, because it cannot be any other way. The future is the present moment, and the present moment is basically the result of the past. You see what I mean? You see what I'm trying to get at? I hope that makes sense. Because even explaining it, almost like I need a visual assistance to kind of form the idea for you. But you cannot have a future without having a self-aware self in the present moment. And if you have that awareness, you can foresee the future. And if you can do that for yourself, you can do that for others. Because the more you know yourself, the more you know the other. I hope that helps kind of understand how time is irrelevant when it comes to energy. It's also worth mentioning that what I spoke about is the more of the quantum physics, the scientific part of the past, present, future. If you have more of a logical mind instead of a spiritual one, I think that is the best way to explain it. Because when I was speaking to my friend, he is a very logical type of person, but you can still make sense of logic even without spirituality, because guess what? All is connected. Spirituality is basically the science that is not discovered. Okay, that is what spirituality is, because we go beyond what has been discovered. And of course, you can communicate with other spirits, and you can have spirit guides to tell you about your future and what you should do in the present moment to manifest the future that you desire. And that is another topic. That is for the spiritual ones. And those spiritual ones already know of how timeless it can be when you are experiencing this timed realm. So the way spiritualists operate is never with time. And if they do, then they haven't advanced to the point where they discovered that. And that's okay. Everyone, go at the pace they are at, and they are not required to go at the speed of anyone else's. So it is worth to mention that this is more of on the logical side of explaining past, present, future, and not the spiritual side of it, because the spiritual has a bit more of an expansive spectrum to it. Okay.